Welcome. My name is Dr. Harry Cohen. I'm the author of Be the Sun, Not the Salt. And this is our Gentle Nudge series, talking about each chapter. I'm joined by my co-host, Connie Fontaine, Chief Super Spreader.
Yes, it's hard to believe we've worked our way through the book, and each chapter, each reflection has been not just fun, but it's been gratifying to remind ourselves of the principles each day. So 29 is an important one. It's be an Olympic listener, and one that I know that we've had big clients that have focused on that chapter, but this is an everyday exercise for all of us.
Who on this earth couldn't become a better listener, let alone an Olympic listener? One guy said, well, I'm moving from junior varsity to varsity as a listener, but I got a long way to go. But I love the metaphor. The metaphor is that, man, oh man, imagine we could become that good as a listener. And one of our podcast guests, Dr. Adish, described listening, and she's a physician, as an act of devotion. Oh, I love that expression. We all, myself mostly, could be a better listener, let alone an Olympic listener, where the people that we interact with feel so listened to that just being around us makes them feel great. So,
Right, and being an Olympic listener isn't just hearing what's said. It's about what's not said, what's meant. This is to be really good at this. You're asking questions. You're not just sitting docile listening.
oh my God. And, when I was doing therapy as my work, most often what I would really be doing is deeply listening, trying to understand what people are trying to say. And that requires an enormous amount of focus and attention and effort and skill and practice. And there are some very practical things that everybody can and should do to improve their listening. We put them in the book as tiny little listening tips. Put away your cell phone. Look someone in the eye. These are really, really simple. We cannot do two things at once. When people say I'm multitasking, no, you're not.
Right.
That's why we get distracted. So to really improve our listening, think about it every time that you're in a conversation with someone and you want to learn what they're saying. Think about what you could do to improve your listening, like looking at them, like asking questions, like not looking elsewhere.
Right. I think you said ask questions. It was with some genuine curiosity, because I think if to understand what somebody's saying, often we need to ask for clarification. And so that does a couple things. First, the person knows you're listening. Second, you actually are listening better.
And I often ask for an example to make sure I understand what someone is saying. Give me another example. Give me one. Okay, got it. I understand it. And sometimes becoming an Olympic listener, which is a lifelong pursuit, does require you getting it wrong sometimes. And I like the aspiration. I like the goal of becoming amazing in my listening skills. I know I'm pretty good. Man, oh man, I can get better.
Well, and you said, I thought of when you said when you were doing therapy, people's body language, I'm sure, told you a lot as well.
Well,
and I say that, but of course, in everyday life, body language tells us a lot.
This is one of those phenomena of human nature, which is if you really want to become a great listener, listen with your eyes. You should also listen with your stomach, your intuition. Something doesn't feel right. That's listening to what you're feeling while you're listening to someone. Listening with your eyes means looking at them for what their body language, and it also obviously involves tone. You said that, but you didn't sound like you meant it. There was a whole lot in what you said. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions about that? So
Right.
I love that the challenge of becoming better at this art and science, and both are operative in the art and science of listening.
So with your ears, with your eyes, and then with your mouth, you're listening by asking questions and clarifying. And I love the idea of asking for examples. Don't assume that you know. And even if you think you know, ask that question. Gives you also more time to process what's happening and make sure you don't make any missteps.
And if you really want to double check, triple check, quadruple check, so let me hear, is this what you're saying? Let me just see if I got this right. So let me tell you what I heard. Let me tell you what I think you're saying. This is what I think I'm getting. Is that correct? Am I missing something? You can always ask, and the people will say something, some version of, yeah, that's mostly it, which means there's more, or yep,
Not
that's
yet.
it exactly. Oh, good. Or
Yes.
yeah, I guess so. Well, that ain't it. So go for the triple check.
I love that. That's perfect. All right, good. So I think being an Olympic listener, remember, this isn't just about hearing. This is about hearing, seeing, and asking questions. Hopefully you learned something today. I know I'm being reminded again of being a better listener. So please invite others to share this content, have a little chat about it, enjoy it, and thank you for listening.